You're listening to Rebel Spirituality with me, Sam Goldfinch. Here's the truth. Wisdom doesn't follow rules. So each week we're going to explore what it means to wake up your way so you can live a more peaceful, creative and inspired life no matter your circumstances. It's time to blaze your unique path to truth. Hey Rebels. Okay, today we're going to talk about fear of the unknown. Now, this is really common for people, right? I think for many of us, we orient towards the unknown, and the thing that really comes up for us is insecurity or fear or worry or anxiety or acute anxiety. You know, it gets really quite extreme for us. This was definitely the case for me. And the truth is that everything in the future is unknown. You know, some things change more slowly than others, but we never ultimately know what's going to happen in the next second, let alone the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So to some extent, we don't know what's going to happen. It's part of the human experience for us to experience that, right? And there's so much magic in it as well. Like it can be such an adventure to know that things don't stay the same, to know that everything in the world of form is always moving is such a, once we realize the truth of that really deeply, it can become really comforting to know that, well, let's get out there, then let's create, let's live from that space. Like, how magic can that be? But I've worked with hundreds of people now, if not thousands, for whom the unknown is something that they can really scare the shit out of themselves with. And, this is the thing I've always done for a lot of my life, is scared myself with it, right? Now, I was on a call the other day and a metaphor came to me that I just haven't used before. I hadn't seen it before. And it was really, really helpful for the lady that I was working with and myself. It seemed to really clarify things. So I wanted to share it with you today. So for a lot of us, when we think about the unknown, it's almost like we think about like a big, black, dark room and we just don't know what's in it. And so we make a bunch of stuff up, right? And depending on the story, depending on what we make up, that's how we're going to feel, right? Because we're never feeling the future. We're not feeling that unknown that we're kind of imagining in our mind. We're feeling thought in the moment. That's the only game in town, our own special effects department bringing our reality to life. So if we make up a story that's full of monsters and scary shit, we will scare ourselves. And if we make up a story that's full of excitement, we'll feel excited. And for many of us, when we're kind of thinking about something and we don't know what's going to happen, we'll go through those stages, right? One minute we'll be feeling kind of really frightened and scared about it. And then the next minute we might be feeling excited, or over the course of a week or a month, there'll be this kind of ebb and flow. And I think what we often believe we need is a better story. Like, that's what I was up to. I was like, if I can create a good enough story, if I can create a story of confidence, if I can create a story of being okay, then I'll be all right. But in our heart, we kind of know that we don't know what's going to happen. So we can, with all the best will in the world, we can create a story around what that new job's going to be like, or what that event's going to be like, or what our first alcohol-free wedding is going to be like, or what. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what it is, what it's going to be like when our first child comes along. We can create all these kind of stories about it. But what we really want with a big dark room, the thing that's most powerful isn't a bunch of stories. It's a lantern. It's a light. The most powerful thing we're going to have is that. And the coolest thing about this is that you are that lantern, right? Now, in the metaphor, whenever we've got hold of the lantern, that's when we are remembering the truth of who we really are. We have that innate sense of clarity and well-being and love and peace and resilience, right, inside of us. And we know that in the moment, a whole wealth of stuff is going to come to us. We're going to have insights. We're going to get access to all these amazing faculties and things that we have, but we're not going to get them before. And no matter what story we come up with, we're going to innocently write out some of the amazing stuff that we've got going for us. And we all know this, right? When we turn up to, let's take a job interview as an example. When we're not full of insecurity, when we haven't been scaring ourselves with that story, we do so much better, right? We're there and we're calm and we're in our sense of just resilience and strength and power. And it's not that we can't have a good think. It's not that we can't plan. It's not that we can't do that stuff. That stuff's fine. But if we're 100% in that dark room, then we're going to end up in a pickle. If we're using our faculties of imagination and planning and these amazing gifts that we've been given, that's fantastic. But we need to keep our hands on the lantern, because anytime we take our hand off, we're going to feel like we're separate from life. We're going to feel like the wisdom and intelligence behind life doesn't have our back. We get insecure, right? We get insecure. In any moment we just touch that lantern again, we remember, oh, no, I am connected. I'm capable of far more than I know. And Mr. Sydney Banks, he used to talk a lot about how whenever we get caught up in insecurity, we feel separate. We feel separate, but we don't need to do anything. In those moments, we often point out at the world, we go, oh, my insecurity is coming from there. It's coming from this person and that person, or the job interview that's coming. But it isn't. It's coming from thought in the moment. It's the only thing that's possible. This is a real game changer, right? Because sometimes it really does feel to us like our experience is coming from the future or the past or any number of things, of objects out there. But it just isn't. It's only ever coming from the inside. It's only ever coming from within you. So you don't even need to do anything about it. All you need to do is just remember, touch that lantern. You don't even need to do that because you are the light. The light is constantly on. It becomes eclipsed by insecurities and worries and things like that. And it can look like it's gone away, but it's been eclipsed. There's no journey. There's no outer journey that we need go on. We need to look within ourselves, turn our attention back, and we'll touch that space. And in that moment, suddenly the unknown, even if there's still a little bit of fear and stuff, it can look entirely different. It can suddenly be an amazing adventure that we're on. We may be able to be like, okay, I've got a bit of insecurity and stuff about this, but I'm not going to believe in the insecurity. I'm looking in a different direction. I'm believing in the light that I am. I'm believing in all the things that I've got going for me. You will have evidence of this in your life. You will have evidence of times where you just don't have a lot on your mind and you do well, and you have a bunch of stuff on your mind and you don't do so well. It's like, could it really be that simple, Sam? It's like, yeah, it can. It is. It really is that simple. The fear of the unknown doesn't have to be this, this debilitating thing. And I didn't know that for a long time. So I'd love for any of you listening to know that. So if you are one of those people that orients towards the unknown and creates a load of stories and scares yourself with the monsters, like, what would it be like if you didn't do that? What would you have to trust? Where would you have to look? Who would you have to be in order to just grab hold of that light, to trust who you really are and move through life that way? How would that change things? All right, team, I really enjoyed recording that one. It was really nice to just kind of share that. It really came from the heart. Okay, I hope you have the most amazing and most badass week. I will talk to you soon.